What's up everybody? I'm Brian from I1 Tesla, and today I got update 2019.8.5.
Oh, it's hitting the brake. It's hitting the brake, slowing down and moving over. That's cool.
And we have to go to the doctor's. My wife has to have another procedure on her back where remember the spinal fluid leaking? Well, it's still leaking and there's some issues, but on the way there, we're gonna test out autopilot, how it changes lanes by itself. And yes, I'm wearing glasses. I have a headache today, and this is pretty much the only time I wear glasses, so I guess we have a new character, Nerdy Brian. And we go to autopilot, customize. So we want it on when we start going. We're gonna set the thing to Mad Max. I'm gonna do average. Require lane change confirmation? No, and that's the key to this. And we don't want it to vibrate the wheel. We just want chime. Although it's probably gonna, turn signal is gonna be the same thing as a chime. We're gonna be off on the road. Say hi to Karen. I'll show you it all as we go. Navigate on autopilot beta. Why did that turn off? So as you can see, we're going to get a good idea how the new autopilot, or navigate on autopilot, works in the rain. There's going to be some traffic too. You see there's a lot of red here, but also a lot of slow traffic. This is 77, it's always slow. But we're going to put in the navigation to the hospital. Right away it goes to navigate on autopilot because we set that in the settings. And now it will automatically change lanes. You still have to keep your hand on the wheel. What are you doing?
How do you...
Right here, scroll this. She's not used to this car at all.
No. What's this do?
That adjusts the speed.
Oh,
Follow distances back and forth. It's set to 2 right now.
You have to re-educate me on your car because I don't drive very often.
She doesn't drive this car much at all. It's always my car. She's used to the Model S, and it's totally different. I would like... It is. Your car is backwards.
Your car is backwards. My car is up first.
They're making these cars, from this point forward, all the cars are going to be like this.
Well, let's agree that we disagree on that.
I agree that your car is wrong, yes.
No.
But what I would like them to do for the older Model S is have a software update where you can toggle a switch to make this shifter put it into on autopilot instead of the one down on the other side, because that's weird. Because if you have both cars, it is kind of weird getting this car versus your car. They should have a switch on here in settings. When they do the update for the Model S, when they have the new Model S, it's going to be up here on the shifter. So why not start now? This is supposed to change lanes by itself without telling you. It'll ding and let you know that it's going to, but just keep your hand on the wheel.
When does it get prompted to?
When it sees that there's a space that it can move over,
and go faster?
then yes, to go around people, it will do that. Or if there's no one.
Now?
Well,
see, it should be changing now. We'll show it on the screen.
Well, we are in the fast lane and we're going slower though. So there's a car right in front of that truck over there. It doesn't show up on the screen, but I can see it.
Oh,
so, but we are in the fast lane.
So maybe we can switch.
I'm not sure. I do have it on average. I don't have it on Mad Max. Let me switch it to Mad Max and see if it would. We go to autopilot, customize. Oh, I had it on mild for some reason.
Yeah, Mad Max.
Oh,
that's my preferred.
Required.
Oh,
it turned off. Bumper coming up fast. Now it turned off autopilot. Poor weather conditions.
Oh.
So it turned off navigate on autopilot because of poor weather conditions. The tire pressure is low, it says, but I just got new tires yesterday and I think it's still adjusting. But I set up navigate on autopilot first, and then when I got out of the screen, it asked me to enter the beta again for some reason, and it put the settings back. Let me show you. So this is really weird. Navigate on autopilot beta. After I went through all the settings, because I had it on mild, or I set it to average, require lane change, no, and then I had it set to just chime. So when I exited out of this, it said navigate on autopilot beta was off. So I had to return that back on, and it reset all these things back to what it was. So You have to be parked to set those things. So we are going to go to our appointment because we don't have time to actually stop. Maybe we do now.
You're good. I'm gonna mark.
Yeah. Thank you 77 for stop and go traffic.
Stop and be able to park traffic.
Yeah. You shouldn't be able to do that on the highway, but if you're on 77 near Charlotte, you'll have that chance. Thank you, construction. It's only been 3.5 years and you're halfway done. Keep it up. Navigate on autopilot is working, although it's been turning off and on because of the weather. And there's plenty of traffic. So you turned off autopilot, or navigate on autopilot again because of the weather.
It's an on and off again relationship.
With the weather?
Oh, with the car.
Oh. So I guess now is a good time to tell you more about why we're going to Charlotte.
My headache.
I mentioned in the beginning, remember Karen had back surgery in December, and she was in the hospital with complications because she had a spinal fluid leak. She's been good for a while. Recently she's been getting headaches.
A lot of other symptoms.
So she's been getting really bad headaches and dizziness. So we thought it was some of the pollen in the air, because really the pollen's starting to come in this area. She had an MRI yesterday and it shows some fluid back in her lower back again. Now they have to go in there and pull that fluid out, and then they're going to put blood in that area to help seal and put pressure in there to...
It's called a blood patch.
Hopefully this is a fix. Apparently it's not always a fix the first time, so we might have to do this again, but...
No, there's like a 35% success rate with the first try.
You know, that's our cue to go back onto navigate on autopilot.
See, it's an on again, off again relationship.
Hopefully this procedure is not an on again, off again procedure that we have to keep doing. So if you can keep Karen in your prayers, where... Oh, it's going to change lanes by itself now.
Uh-oh. It's going to do it. Although it's not faster. Oh, do I have to confirm?
No, you don't have to confirm.
Oh, there it goes.
It just changed lanes by itself, and it took a long time to do that. But it went out of navigate on autopilot, so we're stuck in this lane.
Yeah, but it worked. Look, we're passing traffic.
We are passing people.
Yay!
Go Tesla.
It did it.
It took a long time to do it, but it went ahead and did it.
Even with my headache, and I can appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
Hey, there's a motorcycle, even though it's a jet ski.
Yeah.
So my wife and I went to the doctor, and she had the procedure done to her back, and she needed to lay flat. So we decided that it was better to not do the video on the way home, because I had to drive. It was just uncomfortable for her. She's more important than... Sorry, but you guys. So we're gonna go back out on the road. I have a GoPro here. You'll be able to see the screen. You'll be able to see the wheel. Don't tell anybody, but I am gonna put a bag on the wheel so I don't have to hold the wheel. Hopefully the sound's gonna be good. We're gonna switch sound right now to this camera here, and we're gonna switch views right now. All right, we're in autopilot. I'm going to take the bag of change here. It's changing lanes already by itself right away. I've got it set to 5 over. Let's do 9 over, just so we can catch those cars up there. Again, do not drive with the bag of change on the wheel. So it doesn't show any cars here, but it hasn't moved over. Interesting. I thought it would want to get out of the fast lane. But that might be because it's set to Mad Max and it's set to 9 miles over the speed limit. Now it's going to get out of the fast lane. It's going to move over. Interesting. Very interesting. Actually, I like that. I like how it got out of the way. Let's see what it's going to do. Oh. Let's see what it's going to do here. This car moved over in front of us. It's kind of a cool turn signal, by the way, on that Audi. So now I have it set to 80, but we're doing 72. Now it's going to want to do a lane change. But it stopped it. Now it's going to try it again. Well, I don't know why it stopped the first time.
Interesting. Lower back down to 75, and it's going to change lanes. This is really nice. I can see this being the next step towards full self-driving, where later on this summer, once they get enough data and enough driving with this in place, that you won't have to have your hand on the wheel from on-ramp to off-ramp. That truck moved over just a little bit, and I noticed the car moved over with it. Now it's going to try a lane change. Oh, probably because it sees that van already. Or that SUV, or whatever it is. That's pretty cool. Now the major test is going to be in 6 miles. Is it going to move over enough in time to take the exit to get off, to go on to Route 40? This is going to be great for when I go down to Florida. My son and I are leaving to go to Florida to see the Falcon Heavy launch. And this is going to be, well, actually we're there. By the time you watch this, we're already there. The Falcon, I'm planning this video for Tuesday, which that's when the launch is supposed to happen. So we're already on the way. So this is going to be a great feature for driving all the way down to Florida. Not the bag of change on the wheel. My hand will still be there. Ooh, now it's going to change lanes again. So it doesn't need to get much past the car that we just passed. Well, that's pretty interesting. Did it want to change lanes because there was a vehicle on the side of the road? I wonder if it saw that vehicle was on the side of the road, so it moved over. Maybe not, because we haven't gone back over. But we only have 2.1 miles before we actually need to move completely over to make our exit. And it may not have moved over because of these on-ramps. But it needs to start moving over if it's going to make it. It should move over right now, but it's not. There's plenty of space.
Take exit 51 on the right.
I mean, the navigation's telling it to move over. Now it wants to move over, but there's cars in the way. It should have moved over a lot earlier than this. But I guess it still has time. Now it's going to move over. Huh. Kind of waited till the last minute, but maybe that's because I have it on Mad Max. Maybe Mad Max keeps you in the fast lane longer, or the passing lane.
In 1,000 feet, take the Interstate 40 West ramp on the left toward Asheville.
And it knows to drift over. Now I'm wondering if it's going to navigate through these lanes. We kind of have to move over a little bit. High curvature. But we kind of have to move over a little bit to get off of the exit. So I wonder if it's going to be able to do it. Luckily there's not that many cars around here. But we will see. It's already wanting to change. It knows it has to be in the far right lanes. See what it does with this Mustang in the way. It wants to change again, but this Mustang's in the way. Oh, it's hitting the brake. It's hitting the brake, slowing down. And moving over. That's cool.
Exit 151 on the right.
That's cool. It happened kind of fast.
So my conclusion with navigating on autopilot and not requiring your input to change lanes, it's really, really good. It's very, very good. I mean, again, I had the bag on the wheel just for this test purposes. Do not do that. Do not drive with the bag on the wheel. Keep your hands on the wheel at all times. I was paying attention. Obviously, I was paying attention because I was filming. So don't do that. Don't be an idiot. But navigate on autopilot and allowing it to change lanes is a great idea. You know, I had it set to Mad Max, which means that it was going to change lanes more often, I think, and quicker. I didn't find it too violent. I didn't find it too close or anything. I did like how it slowed down for that Mustang to get off the exit. Instead of trying to speed up around it, it's safer to slow down. I see this as one step closer to full self-driving. Like I said, pretty soon, I think by the end of the summer, we're going to have navigate on autopilot. You don't have to have your hand on the wheel on the highway. I think it'll require a chime every time it changes, but I think that's what's coming. I hope I'm right. This is amazing. This is going to be so awesome when my son and I go to Florida, which we're there already when you're watching this. And if you're watching this on Tuesday, hopefully the Falcon Heavy takes off at like 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be right there. We should feel the heat. Thank you everyone who used our referral code. We won this as part of one of the journeys towards the Roadsters. And thank you very much. My wife couldn't go because of her back procedure that she had not that long ago, plus she has to work. She has to pay for all this stuff. I'm so happy that I'm able to take my son. He's 15 years old. He's there right now having a blast. So this car keeps getting better and better. I've had it for just over a year. I do owe you guys a 1-year review, which I will be doing soon. This car has gotten so much better since then, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to get so much better from this point forward. Plus, my wife's car is getting better. I purchased full self-driving on her car, and now we're going to go from 2.0 hardware to 3.0 hardware, which is going to make her car as smarter than this car, because I didn't get full self-driving on this. This company is so exciting. Even though I don't work for Tesla, I feel like I do sometimes. It's fun to talk about Tesla and push it out to people that don't always hear it. And that's why I went on that radio show last Thursday. If you want to watch that, it'll be on one of these corners here. It's always great to get the name of Tesla out there and show people what this car can do and the limitations of this car, because there's still some limitations that you have to pay attention for. So be safe, be awesome, and stay positive. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. And pray for my wife. She's doing good. She's doing fairly good. We probably have a couple more procedures like this.